if we just come out of the game like not needing an adjustment after drive one like we did last week, where they happened to gash a few rushing plays, this team might show up into the red zone three times maybe in the game.
I want to see if we could get out of this game and have gotten 3 to 5 sacks, then maybe interception and a fumble recovery. I'm going to feel really good about what we do, especially with that creating that turnover margin.
All right, dog fans, before we hop into the show, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and we appreciate the support. Thanks to our sponsor, Simply Seattle. We'll be picking out one lucky new subscriber to win free Washington Huskies t-shirt and hat. To enter, just subscribe, drop a comment below letting us know that you've done it. You can be out there flexing that new Husky drip, that new Husky swag in no time. Plus, don't forget to check out Simply Seattle's QR code at the bottom of the screen, which will take you directly to their website for all your Washington Husky apparel needs. Good luck. Go Dogs. Thank you for everything.
Welcome to the Dub Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Flunt. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about Eastern Michigan coming to play UW. They're 25-point underdogs. I got my guys Izzo and Noah with me, the Dub boys. Fellas, how are we feeling going into week 2? Like I said, it's still kind of a little bit lower level of an opponent, but let's not get it twisted. Eastern Michigan is still pretty good. Izzo, what are you thinking about this matchup, and what are you looking for?
I mean, better opponent than last week, probably. Am I concerned to any degree about this game? I am not.
You're not making any hot predictions, like you're going to dog poo if we lose.
That guy is in trouble, dude. No, people aren't going to forget that. No matter when he resources, everybody's going to remember that. You might as well just delete it forever, dude. He's done.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
So, I will not make a prediction like that. That being said, I know what did you say? No, we're 25-point favorites in this game.
Yeah.
I got us covering. I just don't see the team like this scoring on us. I mean, here's the beautiful thing about this defense is that, like, if we want to, Belichick does all this rotational work, right? Bringing all these different guys in. If we just don't do that, immediately you can bump up with some continuity. So it means that your defense, the entire stretch, shows up every game ready to play, because they're probably going to play. Like, literally everybody who's suited is almost going to play on defense. So, we'll talk about it more, but at just a high level, this team, they beat, UMass 28-14. If you're only scoring 28 on UMass, I don't know if you're scoring a touchdown on us, because if we just come out of the game like not needing an adjustment after drive one like we did last week, where they happened to gash a few rushing plays, this team might show up into the red zone three times maybe in the game.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not 3 times. I would say like twice.
They did beat UMass 28-14, and if you watch that game, they were good at controlling the line of scrimmage. Noah, when you're looking at this Eastern Michigan team, what stood out to you, and what do you think is going to be what UW's going to have on their hands for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think Izzo makes that point, because, I mean, there's 133 teams in, like, Division I college football, right? UMass historically is 120, 125. I mean, they're a very rough team. And so, I know Chris Creighton, at Eastern Michigan, he always puts a competitive team together, consistent bowl appearances. I think they had 9 wins in 2022. So, I mean, he's always a coach. He's ready to go. He'll have these guys ready to play. But looking at these guys, man, I think Eastern Michigan wants to be like a like a run heavy team. They got this new QB, Colin Snyder from Buffalo. He's a transfer in, has the ability to run. I think he had 6 runs against UMass this past weekend. They got this kid Mims out of Mims a third. He's an NC State transfer, big body kid. They want to establish a run. Kind of the issue though with that is they're probably going to be playing from behind, especially in these early games with kind of what their schedule looks like, and that's kind of what I expect this weekend. So when you have to really rely on Colin Snyder to kind of throw you back into this game, I'm sorry, but Eastern Michigan's in for a long day. When you look at some of their wide receivers and who they have, I'm really excited to see this Oren Singleton kid. He's a small little scat, slash slot wide receiver. I'm excited to see what Jordan Shaw does with him. I think Shaw will put him in a blender, eat him up, and spit him out. But but I really want to see that'll be a fun matchup to see. I think he had 8 catches, against UMass with a touchdown. So run heavy offense, or at least they want to be that. It's going to be tough playing from behind, but we'll kind of see how the game goes. Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how we attack them, especially in the trenches. Izzo, I know you were talking about dominance that has to deal with this game. What are your expectations for what happens in the trenches?
Yeah. So Eastern Michigan definitely their front, their front 7 got 6 sacks against UMass, correct? I believe.
Yep.
We're platooning guys. Is there some risk there that we give up a handful of sacks? Sure. Do I think that we have the release valves in the backfield to kind of mitigate that? Yeah, I do. Yep. I think it's going to be a key focus this week and I think Brennan Carroll said it, to limit the amount of negative plays, because there was a handful. And so if that's a key area of focus and they want to try to go athlete for athlete with us in the trenches, their D line versus our offensive line, I'm really not that concerned about it, knowing that Will Rogers has the mental makeup to kind of make the adjustments, and that Brennan Carroll's already aware of it and probably scheming for what is a better defensive line than what we saw last week. So I want to see us sharp in pass protection, but we're going to get the ball out quick. So, I'm more worried about a Ohio State defensive line than a Eastern Michigan defensive line. Hatchet, guard, Memoir in their run assignments, imposing their will. I can pretty much be as close as guaranteeing, and maybe not eating cat poop or dog poop over here, like from a couple like a FSU guy did or has to, but that the pulling guards that they faced last week are nowhere near the level of Landon Hatchett and guard Memoir, even coming off of injuries. So, so that's kind of how I see it in the trenches, at least from our offense to their defense. I'm not overly concerned about it. We got to stop the running quarterback. That's not lost upon me. You got to keep him in contained. I'm glad that this is the team that we're kind of getting faced with that first, because when it comes to threatening dual threat quarterbacks, I'd rather get a taste of that against Eastern Michigan than being thrown into the gauntlet against, a Division I powerhouse school. So I'm looking for Ward. I'm looking for guys like that to come off the edge, seal the edge, who can be that ZTF, that Braylon Trice, where we don't have to worry about one side. And then let Bandas and Valdez press up the middle and kind of screw things up, get their paws up and start to dominate that way. I understand that they have better trench play than last week. I'm just not overly concerned about what that looked like last week for them versus what they're going to see this week on Montlake. So good luck to them. I'm not worried about it.
The only thing I wanted to say really quick was this, is that when you go back and look at Eastern Michigan and kind of look at their schedule, the last couple of years, I mean, the only real team they've played in I'm talking multiple years is like Minnesota last year. They got beat 25-6 on a very kind of like poor Minnesota team. These guys haven't seen a ton of talent. I mean, they're going to see more talent on Montlake on Saturday than they have in years, man. And I really think at the end of the day, our athleticism will really just kind of it'll just kind of win the day. And I think that's one of the things that you'll end up seeing, with that. When it comes to their offensive line versus our D line too, they're roughly right around 300 pounds per guy, 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds per guy. And I think the big thing there also is, they got to transfer their big left tackle to transfer from Wayne State, a lower Division II team. So, man, good luck with Zach Durfee. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's hard to break a game down like this and not just absolutely crap on Eastern Michigan, because that's not really what I'm trying to do or anything. It's just the talent level that they just faced this past week and what they saw all last year is nothing the level that they're going to see on Saturday. So it's really hard to really break it down. One thing I do want to see is, if our defensive line can just shuck and shed and get rid of guys, dude, Delbert Mims, who is a transfer I was referring to from North Carolina State. He was a reserve player there. Dude, he's going to have a tough day because he's a big body back. I mean, he's 220 pounds. He needs a little bit. He needs some momentum to get going. So I think if we can get to him early and often, dude, we'll hold him under 50, 60 yards rushing all day.
Okay, Izzo?
Yeah. I mean, just to piggyback on that, I mean, go ahead and throw. We're going to man up. I'm not worried about their receivers. I know they had the Singleton kid who's pretty decent that Noah mentioned. And Mims, he had a good stat line last week, 12 carries for 60 yards. But again, I'm with Noah. The drop off in talent level is just enormous. So I'm really not concerned. And then again, if you want to try, we just shut down the wide receiver 1 to 15 yards on 1 catch. Yeah. And I don't know how much better these number ones, let's assume slightly better. Let's assume they're good. I know that from Coach Q, shout out to you, that this defense specializes in we didn't even have to see it last week because they just shut this dude down one-on-one. But if they want to get rid of one threat entirely from the game, they have the ability to. Out of the receiver groups, they can just get rid of your top guy. So if you think that you're going to go, all right, get rid of our top guy, we're going to our number 2 versus Elijah Jackson. Okay. We'll take that matchup all day.
Yeah, I don't think they have anybody that's really scaring us anywhere on as far as athlete for athlete, especially as we look at the secondary and back half of the defense. Do you feel the same way with the linebackers and safeties and coverage on the tight ends and all that? Because I mean, He did throw for 241 and a touchdown, but like you said, it was also against UMass, who's traditionally let's just say that's Central Michigan's tune-up game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll take 5th year Tupatala and 5th year Bruner over whatever they got. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the offense of just what is our offense going to do against their defense? Like I said, they did look decent against a bad team in UMass, but Izzo, holler at me about the offense.
Yeah, I'm like we talked about. If we have to make an adjustment to where we're dumping the ball off out of the backfield to Jonah Coleman, to Muhammad, to Cam Davis, I would love to see this to be a big Cam Davis game. Just because if they want to get some reps in and getting the release valve going, or like even if their front 7 isn't getting a ton of pressure on us, just to get those reps in, like we're not going to win every, our left tackle situation, we're not going to win every single rep. We're not 100% of them throughout the game. So I wouldn't mind seeing the strategy of let's get some reps in, throwing to the outside, getting Giles Jackson going, throwing the ball to Cam Davis, get in the rhythm of that, and then throwing the ball deep and seeing if Will can step up and, doing the little dink and dunk game. And then we know you can throw accurately over the middle. He just went 6 for 6 for 66 yards over the middle last game. Let's see if he can stretch the field because we didn't see that last game. So if there's something I'm looking for on offense out of us, given that Eastern Michigan was able to apply pressure on I believe 9 plays against UMass, that's how I want to see that. I want to see Will Rogers step up. I want to see Cam Davis step up. And we could talk about Hunter as well, but I don't know. Noah, I don't know if you wanted to talk about him as well.
Yeah, no. The big thing I had was I think leaning on Will Rogers a bit more, and actually make him a playmaker. I just think you're going to end up, we're going to need that down the year, and we're going to need him to make big throws down the stretch. And I think just games like this give him the confidence with these wide receivers, give him the cohesion to do that. The other piece is this: if you notice in the last game, we really ran a very heavy 3-set wide receiver. Wide receiver set all game. And the 3 wide receivers were Hunter, Boston, and Jackson, right? So, and it seems like we're really going to run with those guys very heavily. So if that is going to be the thought process, especially until Kevin Green comes back, getting Hunter involved in the game, I think is paramount. So I want to see, I just want to see Rodgers and Hunter kind of get that cohesion in this game. And that's something I really like to see. Why wait another week? Let's get him 5, 6, 7 catches versus Eastern Michigan and get him rolling.
Yeah, I think that also, just to piggyback on what we were saying earlier is reasserting that dominance in the trenches, making sure that we're seeing what we should be seeing in a game like this up front. As we look to the defense, Noah, I'm going to have you go first on this one. How can you see this game plan changing a little bit?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned this when we were talking about Snyder early on, and, just the overall, I think want of Eastern Michigan, having that ability to I think they want to be that run heavy team just because I think it kind of it plays into more of their talent. But the defensive adjustments that I want to see is I don't think Eastern Michigan will be able to just run the ball like down our throat. So they're going to have to play from behind. So what I want to see is I want to see us really dial up some more pressures from our linebackers and secondaries. Don't do it so much where it gives, things away for games down the road. But I want to put our cornerbacks on a corner blitz and put them in an uncomfortable position. I want to see Broussard and Camfab come into the box, and hit an A blitz or a blitz and just come up the gut. I want to see him come off the edges. And the other thing too is expect another game where a lot of defensive linemen play, which is phenomenal. But I want to see us use some stunts with those guys. I want to see them do some twists. I want to see those guys just get into the rotation. But I want to see them just really start to you hear me use the word I want this these cohesive units to come together. But that's just what I want to see in these types of games. This is where you gain all that in-game experience. Oh, you ran it so well versus Eastern Michigan. Now you have a more comfortability to run it against a Michigan, right? So really take these games to get game experience. And I want to see that from the defensive side of the ball, especially.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think same here for me. I want to see Bruner contain a running quarterback. I hope this guy is faster than I expect, and that we have to see them really push it, because like you said, I want these to be reps that are meaningful. I don't want to just wash out. I think we saw a lot of the first game, tons of rotation, and I agree that I think we will see that something similar, but dial it back a little bit and get these guys who you're going to be leaning on, really in the middle of the season up to speed. And I don't know if you're going to play them for a quarter or two, if they're going to get that. So I want to see it dialed back a little bit, and I want to see a guy like Carson Bruner and Tupatala have to really stretch themselves, play disciplined ball, have to deal with a big bruising running back. I hope they challenge, to be honest, because I think it would be good for us after last game, because the last game was kind of just never, as soon as the second half started, it felt like they just had they shouldn't have been on the field with us,
Yeah.
So they had we were trying to find, and I don't want to go lean into last week too much, but you're trying to find plays and, where you're like, man, we really need to work on that. And it was really just off tackle to the right side. And it was a couple times. Other than that, they couldn't do a damn thing.
Nope.
Yeah. And so I don't know how valuable those reps are. So give us some good, valuable reps. I'm hoping, I know we'll get to the predictions here in a second, but I'm hoping they put up some points.
Yeah. Yeah. I know for me, I really want to see the defense force some turnovers. We did a good job at creating pressure, but I want to see more sacks too. Like I want to see if we could get out of this game and have gotten 3 to 5 sacks, then maybe interception and a fumble recovery. I'm going to feel really good about what we do, especially with that creating that turnover margin. That when we start getting to the bigger games, that being in that kind of like
environment.
Yeah, well, not just the environment, just having that be part of your game, something you're used to, is going to be big because we're going to be expecting to make those plays as we go against some of these top tier teams.
Dude, I'm really curious in this game. Do we actually see Javon Parker this week? Like, do we see Justin Harrington?
Maybe they're hiding him though right now. Like I said, with these first 3 games, maybe they don't want to show everything that they have because you're talking about that size. I've been wanting to see Harrington and Broussard on the field at the same time. Like I want to see those big bodies going out there and making plays. But maybe you want to wait till you see Rutgers or Northwestern before you start pulling that out. You know?
In Belichick, we trust.
Yeah, I kind of do. I was just going to say that. Like we kind of do need to trust Belichick. They know what they're doing.
I got a question for you guys. Have you ever wanted to walk into Husky Stadium where there's 70,000 people and be the best looking person in the stadium? If you have, make sure you go to Simply Seattle, hit that QR code. Our good friends at Simply Seattle hooked us up and we look great. You see that QR code? Make sure you snap that, go check it out, get all the Husky gear you want, plus Mariners, Sonics, Storm, all that stuff, everything at Simply Seattle.
While you're at it, be sure to check out the Dub Discord community with over 2,700 members. It's the largest organized chat room for all things Washington Husky athletics. You want insider access? Our VIP membership unlocks exclusive chat rooms and rumors you won't find anywhere else. Hit the QR code on the screen and join the conversation today. Go Dogs. Thank you for everything.
All right, guys, let's get into score predictions and final thoughts. Which one of you two Utes want to go first?
Go, Noah. You're the guy here.
It's all you.
Man, 25-point spread. I think the Dogs cover here. I'm going 41-10, 12:30 kickoff on Montlake. I think our defense will just be too much for Eastern Michigan. I think our offense will probably be too much for them to handle. I think you'll see some big games from our running backs. I think we'll have a wide receiver most likely over 100 yards again. Too hot to handle on Montlake, man. That's my slogan for the week. Too hot.
What was your final score again?
41-10.
41-10. All right, Izzo.
So I got us at 38-7, and I'm going to make an interesting prediction here. I'll add a caveat. Kind of similar to week 1. When DeMond comes into this game, because it's 35-0 or it's 35-3, or whatever, maybe it's 35-7. DeMond is going to like show out big time. Like they're going to stretch it out, and you're going to see him flash that athleticism, and that we saw a little bit of it, but I cannot wait until the same reaction that happened for Adam Muhammad this week, where you just saw him running like he's an NFL running back at 18 years old. Wait till you see DeMond hit the burners too.
Okay.
It'll be, I think that happens in this game, and I think fans really start to get nutty. So I'm going to make a bold prediction right here.
All right, I think we got hot takes. Hold on. What's
my bold prediction is thus: the Huskies are up 35-0 in the third. They pull Will Rogers. They put in DeMond Williams, and DeMond Williams like tears down the field on two separate drives and scores twice.
Well, baby, then you
one rushing touchdown, one passing touchdown.
You better kick that prediction up to 49 points then, because you said 35 plus 2 scores. I need to hear 49 something, baby.
Look, my math doesn't even. Once the glasses come on, the math
it doesn't matter no more.
Who does math?
Yeah, I think for me, I think what I'm going to go for is I think you're going to see it's going to be 80 degrees outside. It's going to be the prototypical if you want to go to a Husky game type day. I think you're going to see that offense put 52 points up. 52-6 is going to be that final score. I think we're going to see what we were hoping to see out of Will Rogers last week, where I think he's going to go over 300. I think you're going to see a couple wide receivers with a couple scores. It's going to be a fun day, and we're going to come home and get ready for this Apple Cup in a couple weeks. So what do y'all think?
Hey, I'm liking that.
All right.
I almost forgot the Apple Cup is in 2 weeks. What the heck?
This season's going to be a sprint. As soon as we get into this, and the Apple Cup is literally the start of it. It's like having like we were playing LSU at the beginning of the season type game. It's as far as hype goes for us. So, anything else you guys want to touch on before we get out of here?
Man, we're back, baby. Game 2. Let's go 2-0. Let's go 2-0.
These first two, these first two games, we already, just get them out of the way, get us to the Apple Cup. I mean, at least we're making the slow roll, get the offensive line in a rhythm. And we'll see how much we're having to subsidize Wazoo for a game in a neutral site. We'll subsidize you again, Wazoo. No worries. We got you.
All right. Hey, like I said, you guys, make sure you jump in that Discord. There is the QR code below. You guys have heard everything, why it's so great. Make sure you hit that VIP. For Noah, for Izzo, I'm Mike Flaunt. This is the Dubbed Up Podcast. Go Dogs.
Love you guys. Go Dogs, baby.
Woof, woof.